When you have a high net worth divorce, there are several challenges that come into play during the divorce process. One of the main challenges is making sure everybody knows what the assets are, so everybody knows what needs to be divided up. Another issue is what type of assets are there? Are there businesses that need to be valued? Is there real estate that has to be valued? Are there stock options that need to be valued? Are there pensions and retirement assets that need to be valued? There can be a lot more work that has to be done in order to ascertain exactly the valuation of assets during a high net worth divorce. When dealing with a high net worth divorce and you have complex assets, the question is usually asked, how are they divided? And it depends on what the asset is. If there's a lot of real estate, there are real estate appraisals that have to be done. If there are various businesses, business valuations have to be done. If there's a lot of artwork, that would have to be valued. Or if there's a lot of jewelry, that would have to be valued. Stocks or stock options, it has to be determined. If there are accounts that have a lot of stocks and investments in them, a lot of time you can divide those in kind to minimize tax consequences. If there are various retirement assets, typically you would roll those over to avoid a taxable event. If there are restricted stock units, it's important to see when those stocks vest in order to determine its value. In high net worth divorces, a usual question is, how much child support will I receive? Despite the fact that a spouse might earn a tremendous income, it doesn't mean that you get child support on the entire amount of the income. The New York State Child Support Standards Act is based on a combined cap of the first $183,000. Now, in New York, courts will typically go over that cap. They can go as high as $300, $350, $400. The bottom line is there'll be child support based on an increased cap, but it's not on 100% of the income. For example, if your spouse is earning $4 million, $5 million, you're not getting child support on that entire amount. In high net worth divorces, a common question is there a cap on how much maintenance I can receive? And the answer to that is no, there is not a cap. In order to determine maintenance in New York State, there's a formula that bases it on the first $228,000 in income. However, once you figure out what that number is, you look to other factors, and the courts can absolutely go above and will go above that cap if there is a high net worth divorce, in order to keep the non-moneyed spouse in a similar position to where they were during the marriage, and or to give them time to rehabilitate themselves and re-enter the workforce. But there is not a strict cap on the number of which maintenance is determined. If you have any questions regarding high net worth divorces, please contact the law office of Jerome Scharoff and schedule a free consultation.